Good morning. It's Mornings with James. Hope your day is off to an amazing start. Sharing some insight and some motivation by design. And that's pretty much what the show is all about. Talking about some different things. A couple of things to kind of point out. This is, and I don't want to get into the conjecture of it, but talking about downtown parking, Lethbridge, people having issues with the kiosks. I noticed yesterday that 4th Avenue just seemed to be absolutely vacant of vehicles. And talking with some shop workers, some people that have restaurants and just other businesses downtown, noticed a lot of people saying that business has really been hurt by the kiosks because people don't get the parking. And I think, how strange is it? We have so much technology in our lives, and we have, these cell phones and stuff, but we're so used to a world that accommodates us. We're so used to a world that we basically we took advantage of a lot. Parking in downtown Lethbridge, there were a lot of people that used to replug their meters. They would park too long. They would, take their vehicle, move it to a different stall, but still stay in the same area. And other people that would just go around and just look for a parking meter that was plugged, and so they would park and, then go about their way. Now people are really complaining about it. It's parking. I think we have to realize one thing. First and foremost, cities will always have parking. There'll always be parking issues. And you know what? If you were downtown Calgary and all you had was an option to use a kiosk, you would figure it out pretty quick. And I think we just need to adjust our attitude here, because the kiosks, they're not hard to figure out. As a matter of fact, as the one thing I've noticed, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, when I had Mark Campbell on the show, he said, you know what? The meter people would still continue to function the same way. They wouldn't be getting to work earlier, even though the zones are in effect from 8 o'clock in the morning on. That parking enforcement wouldn't take place until probably after 9 like it normally had, and there'd be no change in staffing. Now, I hear some other people say, well, now the meter guys aren't around anymore because now the guys are driving around in vehicles, and they have all the basically technology to kind of look at the vehicle and find out whether the meter's been plugged, and then they give you a ticket, but you don't get a ticket on the outside of your vehicle, you get a ticket in the mail instead. And so I kind of looked at that and I kind of thought, well, I don't know what the truth is behind that. I was told by Mark Campbell that basically the parking would stay the same, parking enforcement would stay the same. So I'm still expecting that if I don't plug my meter, so to speak, or if I don't put the money in the kiosk to actually park in that zone, that I will find a parking ticket on my vehicle instead of getting one in the mail. How much of a shocker would that be to think you've been parking downtown and working everything correctly, and then all of a sudden you get 10 parking tickets in the mail? I don't think that's a good plan. I don't think that is something that the city would do. But, looking at this whole situation, okay, you're telling me that because you have to walk a couple extra feet to plug your meter, to put time in a kiosk, that this is a problem? To press a button to confirm that you're in zone 2 or zone 3. Outside the Jess FM studios, this is zone 2. If I go down a street, it's zone 3, no problem. I press a button, confirm I'm in zone 2. I punch in my license plate number, which I have memorized now, and I throw in a quarter, I throw in a loonie, I throw in a toonie, whatever I need to. I print out a receipt. Hey, there's the fun part about it now too. I get a receipt now. Yeah, a little bit of extra work, but now I've actually got a receipt. So is it really hard? I don't think so. I think what's happened here is people are really jumped on the bandwagon of complaining. There are a few things to complain about, and they've just jumped on that bandwagon, and they're just basically saying, you know what, everyone else is complaining, I want to complain about it. I even heard a story the other day of somebody's patient who would essentially, like many of us do, look for the plugged meter and then park at that. But how many times have you spent time driving around looking for a parked meter just so you can save 25 cents or a loonie? It's pretty ridiculous when you think about it, because we should value our time more. You're telling me that your fuel and your time, it's not worth just finding a 1 meter and just putting your own money in. I mean, it's a little bit on the ridiculous side. So now this person is very upset because now they have to plug their meter. They have to pay for parking. Well, when you think about it, there are people that work downtown that pay $70 a month for the privilege to park on the street. There are people that pay between $50 and $100 a month to park in a parkade, and there will be more parking downtown. So, really, we've got it pretty easy. And I think if we can stop for a moment and just realize how easy we've gotten it and how great life is, we can really change things around. People are so used to complaining about different things that I think we get that group dynamic going, and everyone just keeps complaining and complaining and complaining. And so all of a sudden there seems to be a problem where there really isn't a problem. Yeah, some of the things don't work properly. Yes, there is an issue with the app. I don't even bother with the app anymore. The what's it called? It just kind of slipped my mind here, but I'll find it. Way to Park. The Way to Park app, and you probably can't see that, but that's what it looks like when you fire it up. Nice little yellow and black, Way to Park. It doesn't work, and I think one of the reasons why we complain so much was because we just want things to work when they first start up. And unfortunately, things can't even work when they first start up. There's some bugs. One of the bugs in particular here, I just opened the app up, and it's supposed to have the GPS location on it and everything like that. It says I'm in downtown Washington. How bizarre is that? How can I be in downtown Washington? So, anyway, that's kind of funny. I think these things, we have to kind of take a step back. We have to be able to laugh at them. We have to be able to look at them and just go, you know what, somebody will figure it out. I do know that with the app and with some of the ambassadors that were out, they were saying that they were working with people. So if you had a complaint, they were going to address the complaint, and then those complaints were going to actually go to the app designers. So I talked a couple of weeks back about, solution-based thinking, and instead of just complaining and wasting your energy, finding a solution. There's part of the solution is voicing your concern, and then somebody in a position to do something about it takes that concern and goes and does something about it. I have to, related to the parking, but not really, it still affects our downtown area and quality of life. Our Mayor, Chris Spearman, going out on an early morning walk and looking around for any discarded needles. And I think that's great. Here's a mayor that he's on the ground, his feet are on the ground, he's walking around, he's checking things out. And of course, even to have a city that has a crew of people that come out in the morning, they sweep the streets, they sweep the sidewalks, they look for any debris, and they clean it up. You know what? My hat is off, Mr. Chris Spearman. Thank you for doing that. And I think, we got to stop complaining about it, and we have to start recognizing when people are doing good things that help us out, that we just say thanks, or we just curb our enthusiastic complaining a little bit. Because let's look at it from this perspective. What are you really doing when you're complaining? Are you taking a positive step and putting it forward? When we complain about something, a lot of times we complain so that maybe something can happen. But if we're complaining about it and we're not complaining, or we're not expressing our views to the right people, nothing can be changed. Okay? Same thing. If I'm hanging out at the Jess FM or Jess TV studios, and there are some things that need to be improved upon, I'm not going to go talk to any of the other announcers and producers and just complain about it. I'm going to talk to the powers that be so that they can do something about it, because I know that they're vested in having something great, a great product, a great studio, a great thing that can be shared with people, and I think that's just a positive thing. We need to be able to, in our lives, take positive steps forward and take positive action. If you see something and it's a big deal, then say something, and make sure that you're saying that thing to the people who are in a position to do something about it. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but how much time are you wasting by just sitting and complaining? Sitting and complaining. You know, I have been known to be quite boisterous in my complaining about high carb, high sugar diets, and I would look and I would complain about that, and I would say, like, there's the problem, there's the problem. In doing something about it, I advocate a ketogenic protocol. Now, I had a nice little talk about that yesterday, talking about the Magic Pill, which is a show on Netflix. I highly recommend that you watch it. Now, I also posted this yesterday. There was a rebuttal to it that basically shows scientific proof that there are issues with ketogenic protocol and such, and that it's not really a healthy thing. Well, I'm going to say this: yes and no, and like anything else, get the facts. Okay, I base my attitude and my information on Dr. Chan Tran of the Ideal Protein dietary protocol. Okay, I firmly believe in it. I've looked at the research. I've done it. It works. And for the first time in my life, I achieved a very significant weight loss in a very short period of time, and I felt great. Now, if you're going into a ketogenic protocol and you're following a ketogenic protocol, okay, it is advisable to make sure that you're getting enough roughage, you're getting enough vegetables, salad, things like that, because they're good for you. Okay, one of the biggest things about the Magic Pill was the people that they looked at. These people had, in a lot of cases, they had horrible diets that consisted of a lot of processed foods. Okay, you can complain all you want, but at the end of the day, when you take a positive step forward, you remove the junk from your diet, you're going to be healthier. When you cut down the carbs, and yes, you know what? We have too many carbs. Anything in excess is going to be a bit of a challenge, right? So, best thing to do is to cut that back. Now, in saying that, when I talked about that ketogenic protocol yesterday, I took steps because somebody pointed out to me, oh, there's this rebuttal for it, and I shared that rebuttal. I like the research that they've got on it. I don't believe it 100% because I believe it's also skewed in another direction. But I think somewhere in the middle, you're going to find a truth and a way of eating that works extremely well for you. Okay? And that's what this is all about. That's what this whole thing's all about. We want to find truth, and we want to find things that work well for us. Let's back it up a little bit. When it comes to parking downtown Lethbridge, there are a lot of people making a lot of assumptions about what parking is and is not. And a lot of people are they're ticked off, and so they're not parking. And I look at this and go like, why would you not park downtown? Why would you avoid a business downtown just because you can't figure out the parking meter? The kiosks work. It's simple. And for those of us that park downtown and those of us that park in Zone 2, hey, I'm happy because guess what? I've got a ton of parking spots. I've got a ton of spots to choose from. If I'm leaving the Jess FM studios and I want to go to the post office and I still have time for my kiosk, I'm good in Zone 2, I can find any spot in Zone 2. Go down to the post office, park right in front of the post office. It's fantastic. So all you guys that have issues, maybe I should say this, fine, don't park downtown, right? Be confused by it. It's really simple, right? The instructions are right on the kiosk as well. You're just leaving more parking space for the rest of us. Guess what? You've just helped us solve a parking problem. One thing I want to point out with the kiosks and the new parking system, people can complain all they want. Excuse me. But I bet you didn't know this, that those parking meters that were going to be very costly to repair, those parking meters used 10,000 AA batteries a year. 10,000 AA batteries. The kiosks are solar powered. Guess what? You're not using up all those batteries anymore. You're not wasting all those batteries. You're not having to recycle. The impact to the environment is much, much less. The kiosks are a great step forward. Environmentally, they are a great step forward. For convenience, potentially, yes, they're a great step forward. We need to get used to it. You know what? I think if you went to any major city, and we're looking at now Lethbridge, close to 100,000 people, we're a major center. You know, we are. We're a major center in southern Alberta. You know, we need to step up. We need to modernize. And with that said, you know, many great things are happening. So, moving forward, you want to complain about something, okay? Complain in a way and to the people where change can take place. Because if all you're doing is complaining, you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time, and you're bringing everybody down. Let's do our best to build people up. Let's do our best to support the people that we need to support, and let's do our best to really be positive about advancement and get behind those people. You know what? Here's the thing. You have these elected officials, and they are doing their best. Are they a unified voice? No, I think we've seen, for example, with people like Bob Higgins, they're not a unified voice. But we need that dynamic nature. We need that representation. That representation helps to make sure that my opinion is supported by council and that your opinion is supported by council. And as we move forward, then we can have a city that we can be proud of that really does represent the people. The governance does represent the people. And I think firmly that we are moving forward and things are pretty good. Yes, there's always room for improvement, and there always will be. But I'll tell you this much. For those people who are going out and trying to exacerbate the whole situation with the needles and the needle debris by going out and actually dumping needles in parks, even though they're clean needles, all you're doing is you're adding to the frenzy, you're adding to the negativity. You're not helping, you're actually creating more of a problem. What if you dump those clean needles there and some kid, something happens and some poor kid gets stuck with it? Now that poor child, you know, they've got to go through all the testing and everything like that, not knowing that it's actually a clean needle, all because you thought, oh, let's really make Lethbridge look bad, and maybe they'll do something about Arches. Guess what? Arches is not going away. The safe consumption site is not going away. As a matter of fact, they're going to be expanded because we need them. They do serve a purpose. We have a drug epidemic that we have to get a handle on somehow, and in the meantime, while we're getting a handle on it, we need to do some harm reduction. So be part of the solution for harm reduction. Be part of the solution for any new change that comes out. Be part of the solution by being constructive in your criticism. Stop the complaining, and let's all move forward. Let's make amazing things happen. I think we have the power to do that. I really think we have the power to make incredible things happen and to shape our world around us. And when people say, well, you know, I can't do this because of this, this, and this, let me tell you this. I've said it before. What you think about all the time, that becomes your reality. What you think about all the time is your reality. And if you want to believe that Lethbridge can be great and amazing, then set that thought and intention in your mind and then take positive steps forward, because that is what is going to make our community great. What you believe about the world around you is true. Change what you believe. Change what you're complaining about all the time. Be more positive, and you're going to find that more positive things are going to be happening. You have the power to do that. And by the way, yeah, you know, we fall into that trap all the time. People start complaining. We jump on that bandwagon because we are a tribal people and we love to belong. Let's do our best to belong to the side that finds solutions, that is part of the solution, not part of the problem. We have the power to do that. That can be your choice for today. Your choice for today can be to help end the complaining and find solutions. Your choice for today, if you know how the kiosks work and you find somebody who does not, you can step up and you can say, hey, let me help you with that. I did it the other day, And it was so easy. You have the power to do that. Step up. Be part of the solution. Put a smile on your face. Say hello. Say good morning. Say good afternoon. By connecting on that level, we change so many things. So let's get together on this. Let's work together. We are stronger as a community than as a bunch of individuals. When you're part of the community that is just complaining, you're just bringing everyone down. Let's build it up. Lethbridge is an amazing place. I'm very proud to live here. I'm proud of the things that the city does. It is absolutely great, and I hope that you'll be part of that solution. Moving forward, making great things happen. Hey, let's all join in together. Let's make amazing things happen. So on this day, 7 billion people in the world and nobody quite like you. Celebrate that. Be positive, be thankful, and let's continue moving forward, and let's make amazing things happen. We have the power to do it, so let's continue moving forward. Let's make it all happen. Have a great day. Stay inspired.